Here we are again, everyone that ends up watching this. Time for a new week of Beyond the Gates. Although it's a shortened week this week, which honestly, kind of happy about. Because I can only imagine that we might still be in for some boring episodes. I mean, I hope not, because I'm ill prepared for today's episode, especially if it's boring. So I do hope that people will join me in the chat and help this episode flow a little better. I don't remember the spoilers, but I know that trash is on, 5 out of 6 episodes. As usual, before we get started, I'll say my Paramount Plus live stream is usually 30 seconds to a minute behind. And I will be typing notes for my review later. But we got a drug commercial before this begins. Might as well just change the name of soap operas to drug operas these days, because way more drug ads than soap ads. Hello, Diane. Good morning to you too. Well, afternoon here, but all right, I'm getting the bold and the beautiful ending music, which means it should be starting in 20 seconds or less. Sorry, Diane. Well, we're starting with the recap. We don't really need a recap on last week's episodes, honestly. Maybe Grayson getting stabbed, that's about it. Because it was boring. Hello, Lulu. Happy Monday. Oh, yay. We get to start with Garbage and Tomas, my two favorite people. Nicole and Kyle on today. Will they act like their high school love triangle today? Sounds like Nicole was daydreaming about Kyle. I used to feel a little better about an episode when Haley and Bill were on, but it's not like it ever goes anywhere. Is she poisoning food now? Smitty snooping around the hospital again. Lulu says, so Haley back trying to kill Bill, I guess. I mean, Grayson's still in her bed. Should be bleeding all over her bed still. Because I don't think a band aid should have stopped his blood. Hello, Bobby Wobby. Welcome. Welcome to an exciting Monday episode of Beyond the Gates. Although with this lineup, probably not, unfortunately. Diane says, Tide will get it clean. Yeah, true. Lulu says, I know, right? That seemed like a deep stab wound. Apparently not. Apparently it was just a paper cut, the way they're making it seem now. I don't maybe the writers didn't realize that they were actually going to show the stabbing on screen for once, and so they're writing it unrealistic after the fact because it actually took place on screen, and even they're surprised. Well, of all the people in the first segment, I guess I only am interested in Haley and Bill, per usual, unless Tomas and Vanessa can actually find Lynette, then I maybe will feel a little better about Tomas, not Vanessa. I really wish they could find a way to make Nicole's dating more interesting too. 'Cause it's kind of going nowhere, like a lot of things. And now they're going to bring Ted back into her orbit too, along with Kyle and Carlton. But I guess you could say a lot of different stories need focus. I'm still on commercial, but I'm sure it's going to come back with Vanessa and Tomas just to annoy me. No, Ashley and Grayson actually. No shit, Grayson. Yeah, these 2 ain't working for me. Gonna keep it real with y'all. These scenes aren't hitting for me. Bobby Wobby says, "Ashley going to be stealing medicine to help Grayson and get caught?" Hopefully, because she was just so upset about Derek's lying, but she's gonna go hardcore to help Grayson, who's lying about bigger things. Smitty is looking like Peter Parker today. James says they're trying to be exciting and it's already boring. Well, they need to try much harder because, yes, I agree. It is already boring. But also, it's like we've known Grayson for 2 minutes and we don't know that much about him. So, kind of hard to be invested. I mean, honestly, Smitty should have never had to do any snooping. All he had to do was befriend Shanice because she will tell all. And she usually knows all about the hospital. And this love triangle might be as unrealistic as Grayson's stab wound, especially if Kyle and Carlton are actually going to become chummy about it. A tie, right? I'm surprised Vanessa doesn't think that Tomas wants to talk about Joey, since that's all she wants to talk about. I mean, I would like for Danny to be dragged more into the Haley storyline again. Okay. I know that was in the preview. It's still as random now as it was in the preview with Bill having a coughing fit. It should be, about him being poisoned, but I bet it's like a fake out. It was very dramatic. You're right, Lulu. Bobby Wobby says, why Danny worried about what's happening at the law firm? Because she still worries about Bill and that toxic connection of theirs. Lulu says, yes, they do have a toxicity connection. They do. And Danny just can't seem to break it. James says, I Try by the late, great Angela Bofill. That's Danny's song to Bill. I don't know if I know it. I'd have to listen to it. Bobby Wobby says, we need more Ren and Lynette. I agree. Well, obviously, I agree about Lynette, but Ren at least brought us some action. What's up, Phoenix Rising 1242? Welcome. Are you watching live? I hope there comes a day again when I'm not actually struggling to get through these episodes. I mean, honestly, I don't know if Naomi has a good argument here. Bill needs to chew before he talks. Carmen says Nicole need to go take care of one of her patients. She could only take care of her sexual thirst these days, Carmen. They're never going to get me invested in an Ashley relationship. Bobby says, "How he trying to protect her but going to her home?" Dee Dee says, "Haley still didn't react, I guess." Oh, look. What's up? It's Rashad. Jacob wants Grayson to do the drop after he's been stabbed. I mean, Jacob is delusional. Lulu says Ashley likes a bad boy icy. I guess she must, because God forbid you lie about being able to walk. Lulu says she probably would have pushed Derek back out the door. Probably. She would have saw that Derek was stabbed, made him leave, pushed him out on a wheelchair. I'm going to take a little notes for a minute. I'm still not over Jacob telling Grayson he needs to be ready for another drop. Diane says, "Well, he could walk to Ashley. Why not do the drop?" I mean, I guess that's very true. He's apparently not bleeding anymore. But it's still an odd thing for Jacob to ask, knowing that Grayson just got stabbed by somebody else in the organization. Like, I don't know. This whole storyline has so many holes. Lulu says, "I guess Rashad said he worked after getting beat up, so he think Grayson can too. I guess him and his sore ribs that he holds in every scene." James says Jacob's trying to bust up the blood plasma ring, but is getting Grayson and himself busted up instead. Great point. That's how great of a cop Jacob is. It's hard for me to believe it's about to be May sweeps where this show is. Honestly, most of the soap operas right now. Dee Dee says Ashley couldn't stand the smallest things from Derek, but she's taken this from a person she just started dating. It's absurd. But we're not supposed to call Ashley out on that, I guess, and still be invested in this not so good relationship that they're trying to build. Do you think we'll see Kyle's kids before we see Madison's mom? Dee Dee says, I love Jacob, but awful undercover cop. Just awful cop in general. Lulu says Nicole looks good with Kyle. I'm not sold on them yet. I thought, yeah, okay, never mind. Sorry, Shanice, but Ashley got a little blood in your chicken recipe. I know Danny wasn't telling Tomas to talk faster because he can't. James says Danny's just blowing up Tomas gang to smithereens. Dee Dee says, I'm not sold on them either. Her and Ted will be back together. I'm not sold on Nicole and Ted getting back together yet either. The show's going to have to really put some effort into these relationships. Well, damn, where Capitol Grove at? Dee Dee says, I hope Naomi takes some of Bill's food. Lulu says, Haley has been apologizing a lot lately, and Bill still don't have a suspicion. Dee Dee says, Nicole is annoying me. Why is Nicole annoying you, Dee Dee? I mean, Nicole's the only person that's been on as much as trash lately. I could use a break from both of them. Lulu says, Haley has been messing up a lot to be a legal aid. ATC says, I need a break from Nicole. What did Nicole do to you, ATC? I mean, Nicole's Triangle is not great TV, in my opinion. I don't think they've done a great job of it. Yes, ATC says Nicole and all this teasing the two men. Okay, we get it now. I'm over it. Fair. And they're just not acting realistic. Diane Whitney says, Dee Dee, I agree. I don't like her. And Kyle just seems blah. It is blah because they don't put effort into building up either relationship, including Ted. James says, Danny and Haley dressed like they're going to some high school function on the daily. Take the budget from their wardrobe and invest in better writers. I'm down for that. ATC says, her triangle is boring. Fair. Cassie says, I haven't watched the episode yet, but my take from the comments is another boring episode. Yeah, I would put it in the boring category, unfortunately. I don't feel like a lot is going to happen today, except maybe on the Grayson and Ashley and Rashad front. ATC says, I don't know, her getting her groove back is not interesting. Yeah, they haven't made it an exciting love triangle. ATC says the Haley Bill is getting interesting. I think only two things, well, three things can make the Bill and Haley thing interesting again. Bill needs to start having actual effects from the poison, or he has to start getting a brain and actually suspecting Haley of something. The third would be for me for Lynette to return, but that's a different story. Lulu says Bill need to know that Haley was buying the investment property only for Lynette to live in it, and don't tell me he already knows. Bill needs a clue. Dee Dee says Nicole with both guys are not convincing. It's because they're writing it like they're young, and they're not. Not a single one of them is young. ATC says Bill kind of knew about the investment thing, but not what it was for. Dee says, "Sorry guys, I love this show. It is a bit slow. I blame the writers. The writers are the problem. The writing is the problem. They've either gotten really lazy or they're just content with it being so boring." Diane says, "I think the writers are AI." I think AI would write a better story than whatever these 2 are doing. Dee says, "So do you think Lynette is alive?" I mean, it's wishful thinking. I don't know if she is. I think she should be. But with these writers, she's probably dead. ATC says, "Kyle and Carlton need to leave Nicole alone." I agree. Devin says, "I also think they're using Chat GPT to make the scripts." See, I don't think so, actually. I really don't think so. The main writer is so old, I don't think she knows what AI is. No offense to anyone, but she's in her 70s. And so I think we're just seeing a very 70s soap opera. Devin says he forgot to watch Friday's episode. You didn't miss anything. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Danny did meet Lynette once upon a time. Why do I feel like Naomi's going to give her suspicions to Bill about Haley, much like Chelsea did? And Bill's still going to be dumb. Oh my god, I can't. I can't with this fucking storyline. Oh, this they really made the Grayson stuff way too unrealistic. All right, maybe all right. Maybe AI is writing this because this this dialogue is stupid too. And now Grayson's gonna chop it up with Shanice. Oh man, that was stupid. Bobby Wobby says, "Oh no." Diane says, "OMG." Dee Dee says, "Wait, how did he make it out of the apartment?" Carmen says, "Are they kidding, Grayson?" James says, "Okay, Grayson doing the drop. This show is too stupid." That was stupid. Bobby Wobby says Grayson has healing powers like Wolverine. Denise Hill says, "Out the house and back at it at work. It really looks like AI, real dumb." Dee Dee says, "Unbelievable with how Grayson is under so much pain and pops up at Ashley's and the hospital." Denise Hill says, "Dumb." Look, I've seen some really uh, like soap operas have had outlandish storylines, you know. Days of Our Lives in the 90s, people possessed by Satan, but it's a different kind of unrealistic than I don't know how to explain it. But when you're trying to have a show that is supposed to be realistic and all of my characters are great characters, I don't have heroes and villains, then you need to stick to that. You can't be doing this Grayson shit. ATC says, "At least I hope Danny recognizes Lynette." It seems like she did. At the end of the day, this Impaler storyline has been brutally bad. I think someone in a creative writing class as a freshman in college could have outlined a better storyline. ATC says, "This is ridiculous. So where is Ashley? She needs to see Grayson at the hospital." Sorry, Dee Dee, I don't know what you're saying. Philly Fashionista says, "So BTG is going to follow the soap opera trope of having conversations and exposing the plots right outside of the office door. B&B is famous for it." It's definitely lost its writing luster. James says, "I'm old enough to remember the spaceman on General Hospital, but General Hospital was big enough to get away with that crap. Beyond the Gates, no." I think a soap opera has to have a general theme of doing outlandish things or, have action and adventure. Right now, they've tried to portray Beyond the Gates as a realistic soap, and they're trying hard with that with Anita's cancer, but now this Grayson shit is so out of everything else. What's up, Kaiwan? Dee Dee says, so Ashley is going to steal the painkillers for Grayson, I guess, even though I don't know why she would. It's not like they are in a full blown relationship. Naomi's right. They've talked this into the ground over several weeks. Let's talk about Jacob being away from Naomi. And on top of all, I'm about to lose my shit. Just seeing Jacob grab his ribs again pissed me off for some reason. Oh, I think it means you're like the number 3 chatter in the chat, Dee Dee. Lulu says Ashley's got antibiotics to prevent infection, maybe stitching supplies and painkillers. Just a thought. Yeah. Devin says, "Wow, he's just selling the injury, but like he just made Grayson do a drop off after being stabbed, and he's acting like he's more hurt than Grayson." So it's like I've seen better selling out of Evolve Wrestling, Devin. ATC says Ashley will get caught. Medication is tracked religiously. Maybe she'll lose her job. There's Leah. Devin says, "Wait, what? I'm not watching along, but Grayson isn't seriously hurt. He ain't acting like it. He's just able to go from place to place like Superman." You did predict right, Bobby. James says Smitty in that stupid baseball cap looks less than an investigative reporter and more like he's next up at bat at his little league baseball game. He really does. He looks good for his age, though. I'll give him that. Kaiwan says medication as tracked religiously in this show. It's going to be some penalties for a nurse, just a junior nurse, so she'd lose her job quick. Somehow, I think Ashley will keep her job from this. Lulu says she should have stayed with Derek, but he was too safe and boring for her, I guess. ATC says yes, Leah has entered the story. This Impaler storyline can't end soon enough for me. It's been bad, bad, bad. The only character for me for Ashley is Naomi. It's the only person she actually has chemistry with. She just needs to take advice from her sister Chelsea. Naomi, that is. Devin said wrong sister for that kind of chemistry. Just they could both be into women. Dee Dee says the writers love Ashley. She's not going anywhere. And that's why I would rather than put her with someone that she has chemistry with. That's Naomi. Devin says, oh, I'm 100% down for a Naomi and Ashley secret relationship behind Jacob's back. That would be better than any storyline Naomi, Ashley, Jacob have had. Taiwan, you think they're going to blame something on Madison? Now Grace is going to stay and work a shift after going all through all this shit that he hasn't even been fixed up yet. Realistically, Kaiwan says the strongest man alive, Grayson. If the Impaler storyline results in Ashley's death, it might be a last minute save. Yeah, sorry, but Nicole and Kyle are boring to me. Well, that was their first scenes together, Devin. They've squandered the writing since then and made a stupid love triangle that doesn't work. Phoenix says, not watching the show. I am at work, but I'm listening to you. You ain't missing much, Phoenix. James says a Danny and Bill meetup during this episode would be its soul saving grace. Maybe she will interrupt Haley and Bill. ATC, that phone's never been for emergencies. It's been for to call Naomi all day and night. Haley, you can't go on vacation. They don't have a set for that. James says the show is almost over and we ain't seen much of anything at all. Yep. Devin says, but his own mom can't use it to call him. No, that's a no, Devin. But he could call Naomi all day and night. I mean, I don't know why Tomas would agree to this with Danny, but I do think I want Danny more involved with that storyline. Well, that was another rough one. Didi says Nicole and Kyle is a filler. It has become quite filler. Denise says Bill doesn't believe a word Haley is saying to him. I'm glad you think so because I don't trust Bill's brain at this point. Kaiwan, I think they do want to have legal activities at the free clinic. They just don't have a set for the free clinic. Didi says Tomas is not to tell Danny anything, but I feel like he might. He's acting very weak with Vanessa and Danny. ATC says, Danny, please. James says they waited to the end to give viewers just a splinter of hope. This is a struggle soap opera for sure. Lately, it has become a struggle. All right. Well, that's all for me. We get 2 days off from this show the next 2 days, which I think is, I need the break. So I'm kind of happy about it. But I will be back on Thursday for another watch along, and I will be back with my review later today. I guess I hope you all enjoy the 2 days off away from the struggle soap opera.